The game Duskbloods is here. Miyazaki's newest baby has just brought forth its light onto the world, and like every other From Software title, it's once again riddled with controversies. Damn, From Software really can't take a break, huh? Most of it completely unnecessary and stupid, brought forth by Reddit morons per usual. I mean, what can you expect out of these people? First of all, every From Software game had the past decade and a half or so has some sort of multiplayer feature in them. So yeah, shut up. I swear, these people complain about From Software titles if they are being forced into buying these games. The Nintendo exclusivity deal, however, is one gripe, one controversy I can kind of get behind, since from my perspective, I have no intent nor the drive to ever buy a Nintendo console, especially considering the prices, which in and of itself are another controversy that should probably deserve its own video, but alas. We're not here to focus on any potential Reddit-verse retardation. No, we're here to talk about the potential features that will be displayed at Duskbloods. And I'll try to do it as concisely as I can, so let's do it real quickly. Before starting though, I recommend you all to read Miyazaki's newest interview with Nintendo, as that interview gives a great insight to the game's features. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking a lot of my points here from both the interview and the trailer as well. So starting off, what is Duskbloods, or more specifically the Duskbloods? It's a PvPvE game with a focus on the competitive multiplayer aspect of the game. And if you don't know what that means, just imagine Escape from Tarkov with a Souls-like gameplay feature onto it, and you're basically on the right track. According to the interview, the game will also feature many win conditions, so yeah, the game's not going to be completely PvP per se. There's going to be aspects of the game where actually going to fight a boss with another player or helping another player will help you win that match. How much that will be balanced, it's beyond me. Still, Miyazaki maintains the idea that the game will mainly focus on the PvP aspect, so yes, he expects a competitive game on this one. Now, in regards to weapons and game mechanics, not much is said in the interview, but we can extrapolate from the trailer. The first thing that caught my attention was the T-Rex. Yeah, I was the dinosaur kid, it's cool, I'm not gonna deny that. It's just really cool to finally see, I mean, it's a dinosaur in a From Software game. I never once thought that this would happen. I mean, it was very likely it was going to happen, but for some reason I never imagined in my head that From Software actually pulled that off, even though they pull off a lot of crazy stunts. But either way, going back to the ability in of itself, it will probably work similarly to how the Dragon Communion spells worked in Elden Ring. But instead of shooting flames, you will likely charge the enemy in the form of a dinosaur, grabbing them as you get close to them. Another thing that caught my eyes was the map traversal, and that one seems to be unique to each character. Yes, character. Something we'll get in a minute, don't worry about that. You probably noticed the jetpack, the superhero jump, and the Lady Maria wannabe riding a headless torrent in the trailer. And yeah, each of these characters will apparently have its own method to quickly move around the map, be it vertically or horizontally. Also, another detail, it seems to be multiple maps this time. It's not going to be focused on just one map. How big will these maps be and how explorable they will be, how many things are there to be discovered on them, that's still up for debate. I would imagine each one of them would be very big, but again, speculation, take it with a grain of salt. Hey, posted a discount opinion here. There's something that I would also like to throw my hat into the ring in regards to how the gameplay is going to feel. If I were to bet it, I would bet that the game will feel mostly like Bloodborne. After all, Duskbloods, and well, it's kind of on the nose. But what I'm trying to say is that if I were to put a bet on how the game was going to play, I would say it's going to be much similar to Bloodborne than Sekiro or the Souls games or Elden Ring per se. I sincerely believe that the game is going to be quite fast-paced. With that said, some of the classes very likely will play more heavily, if that makes any sense. They will feel heavier than the other classes. They will be less agile, but they will tank more hits and hit harder. That's what I believe the game is going to play. And there's also going to be mages and so on and so forth. But I would still put my bets that the game is gonna feel more like Bloodborne than anything else. So there's also that little detail that I forgot to put on the video, and now I'm putting it on here, post-editing. Yeah, see ya. Enjoy the rest of the video. But what about lore? Well, firstly, there isn't much to say here, not much to see, especially from the interview or the trailer. I mean, it's From Software. They're gonna be cryptic about everything until the game actually comes out. Actually, who am I kidding? They're gonna be cryptic even when the game comes out, after the game comes out. So there's that. But there are the characters that I mentioned before, and they are called the Bloodsworn. And to be completely honest, no matter how hard interviews try not to say it, they're vampires, okay? No matter how much Miyazaki tries to not portray them as such, they are practically vampires. I mean, just look at their description from the interview. Superhumans with special abilities because they have some sort of special blood, competing with one another for the first blood during an historical moment known as the Twilight of Humanity. Yeah, it's just a bunch of vampires cosplaying as hunters from Bloodborne. Except this guy, he's cosplaying as Sir Mur for some reason. And don't get me wrong, I find it really fucking cool being the beast stalking the night instead of being the hunter killing the beasts. And now we are the ones that terrorize everything. Or, I mean, I don't know the lore or the narrative, but it's kind of cool to know that I am the one that's being feared. I am the great beast, the vampire that they should fear throughout the night. That's something cool that you have to think about, that From Software put us in this place. So yeah, I dig it. It's cool. It's fine. I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's really fucking cool. Miyazaki has also mentioned customizations in the interview, but he also described the Bloodsworns, the characters, as unique in both their personality and story. So I pretty much doubt that this game will have any sort of customization on par with Elden Ring, which is something that makes sense regarding both the PvP balancing of the game and the streamlining of the lore, since it happens to help the narrative be a little bit more linear. I mean, again, pure speculation on my part. Also, having predetermined classes will create a less random PvP experience, since I also mentioned before that Elden Ring was, well, kind of fucking everywhere in regards to PvP balance. It really was just fucking everywhere. All you needed was just one weapon that people figured out that worked way better than the others, and there you have it. The meta was basically ruined from so forth until some patch come over and just obliterated that weapon from the face of the universe. But still, let's be fair, that's pretty much it. Everything you need to know about Blood Dusks, what? No, the Duskbloods so far, or at the very least everything that we know so far, or the things that I believe are the most important so far for this game. But what do you think about the game so far? The trailer, the interview of Miyazaki? Put it down in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. This has been Discount Gamer, and I will see you guys later. Bye.